All right, well, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's special presentations. I'd like to thank you all for being here in support of our first presentation of the evening, the Deputy and Classified Employee of the First Quarter for our RSO. Both deputies and classified employees from our Riverside Sheriff's Office are second to none, truly exemplifying service above self. Today, we honor two very special individuals, each one making our community a safer and better place to live. Without further ado, please give a big round of applause for Deputy of the First Quarter, Deputy Lionel Acosta. Come on up, Lionel. I'm going to have you hang on to this while I read the... You stand over here, because you're on camera. Yeah, no, face that way. All right, Deputy Acosta has established himself as a leader on his shift, regularly participating in briefing trainings, offering insight and wisdom beyond his current rank. In addition to his leadership, Deputy Acosta sets a prime example to his partners on his shift, mentoring them on new issues and handling calls with proactivity. Since joining his current shift with Sergeant Likens, Deputy Acosta has removed 4 illegal firearms from the streets of Moreno Valley, with 2 coming from a single traffic stop. And then I would like Deputy Acosta to say a few words, and I know your family's out in the audience, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so it's all yours, sir.
Hello. First and foremost, I thank the City of Moreno Valley. This is an honor to receive this award. I want to thank the Moreno Valley Sheriff Station, my command staff, Sergeant Likens, my team, my Captain Mack, and then all the lieutenants that I've worked for. And lastly, I thank my family, my wife, my kids for supporting me in all this. Without them, I wouldn't be able to be the deputy I am. They gave me that hunger and that strive to keep the street safe and do what I love, patrol. Just thank you all, for the award.
And from what we understand here on the dais, it's well-deserved, sir. So good job. Next, please welcome the Classified Employee of the First Quarter, Community Service Officer Claudia Avila Barrian. Come on up, Claudia. Makes for a good picture. CSO Barrian is recognized for her consistent attention to detail and clarity, things that can be easily lost when reading through any written investigative report. Her thorough investigative details and precision, her innate skill and dedication is shown, impressing her colleagues and multiple sergeants at the Moreno Valley Station. Her strong work ethic is also on display at the station, with 76 written reports in the past 3 months, including frauds, larceny, missing persons, runaway juveniles, and stolen vehicles. Despite her short tenure at the Moreno Valley Station, CSO Barrian has hit the ground running and is excelling in her position, thus named Classified Employee of the Second Quarter, or the First Quarter of Moreno Valley Station. And it's your turn to say a few words. So.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Sergeant DiMattia, Sergeant Atkinson, and Captain Mack. With that, for their trust and believing in me and thinking that I am worthy of this acknowledgement. Secondly, the City of Moreno Valley, thank you for letting me patrol your city. This station has been a place of growth for me, and I've been lucky enough to have the support of my team, the Watch 2 Alphas. At home, my husband has been fully supportive of all my wacky decisions, schedule changes, and without his support, it's unlikely that I would be here. Thank you for supporting this change in career so late in our life. It looks like it's working out all right, isn't it? Thank you.
Awesome. Congratulations to both of you, and on behalf of the City of Moreno Valley, Mayor and the City Council, good job, and keep up the good work.
Thank you.
So if we could want to take some photos, if folks from the dais want to come up.
I'll come down. Can we get you two right there in the middle up against the step there?
Yeah, just put that in front of me.
You want to take a step this direction, actually? Yeah. All 3 on top and a little bit of, there we go. Perfect. There we go.
guys can get center stage if you want.
Thank you, Councilmember Delgado. I'm excited to bring forth a new special presentation, one that I think will continue with for quite some time. Due to our proximity to the March Air Reserve Base, both the city as an organization as well as the public have a strong connection with our colleagues at the MARB. And it's important to recognize them and all of their personnel in a similar way that we do with our friends from the Sheriff's Office. Without further ado, please give a big round of applause for the military member of the first quarter, Staff Sergeant Eduardo Castillo. Please come up. Say a few words here. Sergeant Castillo has exemplified dedication, professionalism, and leadership in his role at the Installation Patrolman with the 452nd Security Forces Squadron at the MARB. Always on the ball, furthering his leadership capabilities, Sergeant Castillo recently completed the rigorous 2-week Riverside County Sheriff's Special Weapons and Tactics SWAT Academy, enhancing his proficiency and operational effectiveness. However, leadership isn't always shown through physical capabilities, and the sergeant knows that. So while his SWAT training assists him with operations, his commitment to the Non-Commissioned Officer Foundations course sharpened his skills and facilitated collaborative discussions, all of which build upon his unique skill set. In recognizing you, Sergeant, your commitment to excellence, I, along with my colleagues at the dais, want to recognize you as a military member of the quarter. Please give him an applause. Sergeant Garcia, would you like to share a few words for the public?
On behalf of March Air Reserve Base, I want to thank you, City of Moreno Valley, for the continuation of recognition of our military members. And I also want to thank my supervisor, Technical Sergeant Loschnig, who continues to push me out of my comfort. And I lastly want to thank my wife, Crystal, who couldn't make it today because she had to work. But thank you all.
Thank you, Sergeant Castillo. Now we can take some pictures.
Have you stand right over there by the step. Front step. So I'm gonna pop it a little bit this way. There we go. All right, and 1, 2, 3. And there we go. Go for it.
Thank you, Councilmember Gonzalez. I'm sorry, I'm getting used to the new setup in the well. I was looking for Melissa down there, but I see what happened. And Brian gave me a heads up, so my bad. You told me. So on behalf of the City Council, I'd like to extend our deepest gratitude to our Public Works Director and City Engineer, Melissa Walker, along with our Public Works Department and staff for their hard work and dedication in ensuring that the City of Moreno Valley operates smoothly. Melissa, would you and your team please join me? Yeah, you back there. Oh, the whole audience is you. Okay. Okay, how was the drive over?
That's great. Very smooth.
Very smooth. Well, you know the way y'all make sure these streets look. I'm proud of y'all. Potholes are work. Listen. I'm gonna give one more shout out. Is there anybody else from Melissa's team who is not up here? Does anyone recognize anybody? Okay. I know. Our public works staff undertake numerous responsibilities to build, maintain, and support the infrastructure that helps our communities thrive. They work tirelessly on a wide variety of tasks, from ensuring that projects within Moreno Valley meet high standards of environmental care in California, to coordinating community cleanup days and raising awareness about proper recycling techniques. These highly skilled and diligent individuals enhance the quality of life for every citizen in Moreno Valley. And for that reason, it is my pleasure to present the following proclamation celebrating Public Works Week, where this year's theme is People, Purpose, Presence. Ooh, but we should have did People's Purpose, Potholes. Because you know how I feel about potholes. It's okay, next year. Highlighting the cornerstone ideals that motivate our public works professionals in their daily service to our beautiful community. And where meeting the needs of its residents is what gives the City of Moreno Valley's Public Works Department its sense of purpose, being present, working to advance the quality of life for all our residents. Can we please give you all one more round of applause? Okay. And with that, I turn it over to you, Melissa.
Well, thank you very much. This proclamation is greatly appreciated. As she mentioned, this year's National Public Works theme is People, Purpose, Presence. And it really is the people that give us the purpose for why we're out there, to make sure we are present every day and do the best to advance that life, quality of life for all. Whether it's serving as first responders, responding to electrical outages, or making roads and sidewalks passable after a storm, Public Works is always there when people need them. Thank you.
I invite my colleagues up here to take a photo.
We're going to use all three tiers. I need the tallest people in the back, middle people on the second step, and so on. So if anyone wants to move on down. Should get more people down in the front. Actually, that'd help a lot. Also, if you can't see me, I can't see your face. So, all right. Gentleman in the hat here, if I can get you just no, right there, perfect. Got everyone. Here, if I can get you just in just a bit, a little bit more. There we go. Right here in the front, just a little right here. Yes, a little bit. There we go. All right. Trying to get everyone. All right, and 1, 2, 3. All right, we just.
Sean, do you need a photo?
I will get one.
Okay.
I'll let
And 1,
Steven
2,
get his first.
3. There we go.
Thank you all. Very nice to see you.
Oh my gosh, didn't I almost kill y'all? I'll tell Melissa I'm coming.
All right.
All right, can we give it up for our Public Works Department one more time? That might be one of the nicest frames I've seen for a proclamation. That's beautiful. So thank you for all you do. Thank you to my colleagues for those special presentations, and that will conclude the special presentations for this afternoon. We'll be back in about 15 minutes to start our regular council meeting. Thank you. Good evening and welcome to the joint meeting of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley. The City Council receives a separate stipend from the Community Services District if any CSD business is conducted during this meeting. I now call this meeting to order on May 20th, 2025 at 6 p.m. on the dot. We will go ahead and go into the Pledge of Allegiance. Would any of my colleagues like to volunteer to do the pledge this evening? Councilmember Delgado will lead us in the pledge, and please remain standing for the invocation given this evening by Pastor Leon Madlock from True Vine Ministries.
Please join me by placing your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, republic for which it stands.
Good evening, Pastor. Welcome.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you in the spirit of humility. Heavenly Father, before we ask you for anything, we want to thank you for everything, for your tender mercies, for your love toward us, your kindness. We thank you for the city council, the mayor. We thank you for the leadership, the wisdom. Endow them with even more wisdom going forward. Make them a template of how things should go throughout this nation. We have not a high priest who can't be touched by the feelings of our infirmities, but on all points yet without sin. He paid the price. And because he lives, we can face tomorrow. With all the challenges that we face, give this city council and mayor wisdom. Give them guidance. Watch over the police force, even the firemen. Oh God, we know that you're able to touch the unsaved. Heal in the name of Jesus. God, we thank you right now for the opportunity to speak to these, your people. Pull down strongholds. Let love abide. Let us agree to disagree, but love, which is the greatest commandment. And God, we be so careful to give your name the glory. We give you the honor, God. We give you the praise in Jesus' name. Thank God. Amen. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor Leon Madlock from True Vine Ministries. Much appreciated. Next, we will go ahead and move into roll call. Madam Clerk, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Bernard,
Here.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Here.
Councilmember Delgado,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz,
Here.
and Mayor Cabrera.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, item F, staff introductions, please.
Jasmine Rivera, Executive Assistant to the Mayor and Council Office.
Sonia Gomez, Management Assistant.
Stephen Quintanilla, City Attorney.
Brian Mohan, City Manager.
Lana Jimenez, Assistant City Manager of Administration.
Dina Hill, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Sean Kelleher, Assistant City Manager Development.
Angelica Frausto-Lupo, Community Development Director.
Keith Gimmel, Acting Economic Development and Housing Director.
Melissa Walker, Director of Public Works.
Jeremy Bubnick, Director of Parks and Community Services.
Natalie Potter, Human Resources Division Manager.
Jesse Park, Fire Chief.
Sarah Mack, Chief of Police.
I'm used to it going that way, and we'll get used to it. Next, item G, approval of order of agenda. Are there any requests from the dais? If not, we're looking for a motion and a second to approve the order of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second made. Please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bernard,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz,
Yes.
and Mayor Cabrera.
Yes. And that motion carries unanimously. Next up is item H, public comments on matters not on the agenda. Friendly reminder that the city now offers translation services through a free app called Wordly. The app automatically translates a variety of languages into English and vice versa. To use this service, please scan the QR code at the speaker sign-up table. For the visually impaired, please use your earphones or earbuds to listen to the verbal translation. If you do not have any such listening devices, please let the city clerk staff know, and we will gladly let you borrow some for this meeting. La ciudad actualmente ofrece servicios de traducción de idiomas a través de una aplicación gratuita llamada Wordly. Si gustan usar este servicio, por favor avísenle a la secretaria y entregue una tarjeta para hablar. Para usar la traducción, escanee el código QR que está en la mesa junto a las puertas. Before we move on to public comments, I'd like to remind everyone to direct their comments to the City Council. For comments on items on tonight's agenda, each speaker will have a total of 3 minutes to comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to comment on non-agenda items?
Mayor Cabrera, we have 3 speakers.
Go ahead and call the 3 speakers, please.
First speaker, Deanna Lacava, followed by Eticia Hinton, followed by James Armour.
Yes, good evening. Whenever you're ready, feel free to go ahead and we'll start the clock once you start speaking. Welcome.
My name is Deanna LaCava. I was born in Sunnymead before Moreno Valley became a city. I'm a citizen and a member of the Moreno Valley Historical Society. I see the signs that say if you see something, say something, so I'm here to say something. In the interest of helping the city to protect the historic Alessandro adobe on the city's Hendrick Ranches property at Cottonwood and Merino Beach, I'd like to bring to the council's attention that a screw holding a piece of plywood covering a window on the east end of the adobe came loose about a year ago and needs to be screwed back in to keep the weather out and to help prevent vandalism. It's not a big ask and it's important. You might recognize the name Hendrick from the Hendrick Ranches Elementary School. In the late 1890s, Eli Hendrick started buying Bear Valley and Alessandro development lands as they became available through sheriff's tax sales. Ultimately, Hendrick bought more than 23,000 acres throughout Moreno Valley. The adobe on the Hendrick Ranches property came from the original town of Alessandro. After Hendrick purchased the land at Alessandro, he used that adobe office as an office for the Hendrick Ranches operation. The building is made of 12-inch by 8-inch by 4-inch adobe bricks that were made on site and has a 12 by 12 by 3/4-inch thick red tile floor and a rough hewn timber trusses and a Spanish red tile roof. Just inside the front door, the Hendrick Ranch cattle brand, a Flying H, is set in the floor with 3-inch wide tiles measuring about 18 by 24 inches. In 1920, the military bought 640 acres to build the original March Field, initially called Alessandro Flying Field. After Pearl Harbor, through condemnation, the Department of the Army purchased in excess of an additional 2,000 acres, including the Alessandro town site. According to a letter from a foreman of the Hendrick Ranches, the only remaining thing left of the town site of Alessandro was the adobe and a cast iron safe that somehow ended up in Hemet. The Army gave Hendrick Ranches permission to take the adobe, which was patiently and carefully raised, and pole-like skids were slid underneath. Spacers were added to both ends to keep them from shifting while en route. Steel cables were attached to the skids for the move with a Hendrick Ranches Caterpillar D50 tractor. The long cross-country move took a little more than a week and was made so slowly and carefully that not a single floor tile, adobe brick, or Spanish roof tile was cracked. They understood the historic significance of the last physical piece of Alessandro history. I brought this problem to your attention because I saw something, so I said something. A simple screw gun and maybe a drywall screw is all we need over there to continue to protect this historical resource. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Eticia Hinton, followed by James Armour.
Good evening, council members and mayor and community members. My name is Eticia Hinton. I'm a proud woman leader and a resident of District 4, represented by Councilwoman Shaylinda Bernard. I come before you not only as a constituent, but as a witness, a community organizer, and someone who deeply believes in dignity, justice, and accountability in leadership. Last council meeting, I watched from home in disbelief as Councilmember Bernard was belittled and publicly dismissed as emotional and accused of being unable to control her emotions or keep her composure. These slanderous gender attacks weren't just disrespectful, they are dangerous. Let's be honest. This wasn't about conduct, it was about control. It was about silencing a woman who had the audacity to speak truth to power. That's a tactic that is as old as time and one of many that us in leadership have had to face. As I saw with my own eyes the impact of those words, the weight of that moment when Councilwoman Bernard stood up and walked out of this chamber, but she wasn't alone. Councilmember Alana Baca Santa Cruz, another woman city council member, also walked out. This action spoke volumes. It spoke to the disgust and disappointment and the deep disrespect shown to the women who serve on this council. Mayor, you told Council Bernard, the community sees you, and you're right, we do. We also saw what you said, we heard what you said, and we felt the undertone of every attempt to discredit a powerful woman's voice by reducing her passion to hysteria. We also saw courage, and we also saw her leadership. And honestly, you would think in that moment, as you watched both of your colleagues, the only women on this council, walk out of this chamber, you would have paused. You would have reflected and reconsidered your tone or even your position, especially since these women are who you said you pride yourself in working with. But instead, you doubled down and continued your closing remarks. You stayed on the attack just to drive the point home. That choice was not just unfortunate, but it was also telling. That's why tonight I stand with Shaylinda. I brought other women leaders with me. We are here to remind you that Councilmember Bernard was also elected by the people of this city. She earned the right to lead, and when you attempt to shame or isolate or undermine her voice, you're disrespecting the will of the very people who put her here. Let me remind you that Moreno Valley has over 50% of population is female.
Thank you.
Mayor, the next speaker is James Armour, followed by Fred Banuelos, followed by Christopher Baca.
How's it going, Mayor, City Council? It's nice to see you guys again. It's always a blessing being here. Wanted to do the impact report to provide the data. I brought copies of the data we got so far. But altogether, from the beginning of the year till now, we've served a total of 495 individuals. And out of those 495, 419 were unsheltered or families experiencing homelessness. We have increased our reach when it comes to homelessness. We've really been focusing on that right now. And I wanted to share some great news. We got a RTA bus donated, 12-person bus. So right now we're working on getting the tags and the license plate and all that stuff. Super excited. The idea that I have is to do a community participatory approach. So I'm hoping kind of similar to what Power Speaks Louder does, how they bring the community with them to go and serve the unhoused, going in the trenches. The goal is to link them to housing, right? And so really, really excited about that. The next Mobile Free Market is going to be in July. So we're going to be working on that in July. And then another thing that I wanted to share is that currently the Housing Workforce Development just released an RFP at the beginning of this month that we're going to try to tackle. Inland Compassion is applying for the Homeless Housing Assistance and Prevention Program grant to fund street outreach and supportive services connecting unsheltered individuals in Moreno Valley and other districts in Riverside County to housing services through the Pathways to Home project. We would have direct access for referrals for rapid rehousing as a priority referral through the coordinated entry system, which is through the county. We are asking the Moreno Valley City Council to add an agenda item for an approval to serve as a reference, which the RIP requires 3 references who has knowledge of the work that we do, affirming our commitment to addressing unsheltered homelessness with compassion and collaboration. Your endorsement as a reference will strengthen our proposal, showcasing our shared dedication to improving lives in our community. However, the RFP is due May 2nd, and our goal is to turn it in May 1st. So I understand that's really June. I apologize, June. Yeah, so I know it's really short notice, but I just found out about the grant. I completed the proposal, so all we need is just 3 references. And part of the proposal is going to be District 5. And so we want to be able to have that direct access to rapid rehousing, using the 12-person bus, bringing the community with us, trying to reduce homelessness. And then one last thing, I've seen that homelessness increased by 7%. Hopefully, we'll see what happens with the point-in-time count.
Thank you, and just make sure that we connect you with staff so that we can follow up on that request. Thank you.
Mayor, Council, based on the timelines that he provided, there's not another regularly scheduled meeting between now and June 1st, June 2nd. So if we were to do something as a body, it would have to be under a special meeting at this particular point in time.
Thank you.
Next speaker, Fred Banuelos, followed by Christopher Baca.
Hello, everyone. I just want to thank you for that last study session. It really opened my eyes and it was very informative. I watched it at home, so I appreciate that. The other thing, the conversation with Shay, that was a great meeting. We talked about some good things there. I just wish more people would come out and not the regulars. We talked about some things, weeds, those that problem got resolved. I'd like to follow up. Talked about some road stuff. Great follow up on that with a gentleman named Victor. I'm not sure if he works for the city or not, but I want to thank him for calling me. And let's see what else we want to talk about. The Public Safety Expo. Loved it. It was great. I'd still like to see animal control and the animal control things to know what those are, if we can get those. I don't know how much money it would cost, but I'd like to see that specifically on the trucks. Had some good interviews with the Public Safety Expo. There was a gentleman that has an Instagram channel on the Tira. I think he interviewed our chief, and it was a great interview. Unfortunately, his channel got taken down, and he's trying to get it back up. So if you can follow him, it's, what is it, _Tira, if you can find him again. He provides a good lot of information. He really loves public safety. So I'm glad that he was there. Memorial Day is coming up. If we can, I'd really appreciate it. The flags are supposed to be at half staff until noon, and then at noon they're supposed to go full staff. So I don't know if we have people that are working that day, but if we do, well, I know fire department will be there and law enforcement. I don't know if law enforcement get that flag, but if we get it back at full staff at 12 noon, that's when it's supposed to go back up. Let's see. Oh, we talked about some things like bike bus. I don't know if you heard about that. It looks like where the kids ride their bikes to school. Hopefully we get that going on with the school districts. I'd love to see that, be a part of it. Get more people out on bikes. We need to do that. Need to get some exercise. And some other things that I noticed on the app and on the website. Still seeing some things where it's kind of unclear. You know, you'll go to a meeting and it'll say something like the meeting starts at 1 a.m. and 11. So I don't know who runs that, if they can take a look at that. But when I go to see when meetings are, it's not the accurate time of when they are. And then I believe, if somebody can correct me, there's an ad hoc meeting tomorrow for the homeless. If that's tomorrow at 4. We're looking for James, but yep. All right, correct. That's it. Alrighty, that's it. Thank you, guys.
Next speaker, Christopher Baca, followed by Doreen Armstrong.
So the entire community loves Elena and Mrs. I'm sorry, God, my mind goes. Councilwoman Shalinda Bernard. But what I want to point out is, we got rhinos, we got dinos, and we got pinos, which is progressives in names only, progressives in name only. We got, a super majority of progressives here, but as far as policy or anything's concerned in our city, where is that? I don't see it. It's more like you're in support of Citizens United. But anyhow, on that point, on Citizens United, I wanted to point out, we're going to have a lot of controversy on, that poor girl that's a DACA student, but yet nobody ever points out that Benzivi, for the last 20 years until a year ago, was not a citizen of this country. He's not yet, and he's been interfering in our elections for the past 20 years. He's been interfering and interfering in public policy. But yet we're going to come out and put that poor girl down for being a DACA student. If I were her, I would form a corporation, and maybe she can run and be appointed under a corporation, since corporations are people, and corporations have unlimited rights, such as Benzivi and Highland Fairview. So, we're going to go that route. Look at the hypocrisy before anybody comes out blasting a DACA student for trying to be civically engaged. As far as the FOIAs are concerned, as far as my previous comments, it seems like am I a ghost? Do I not exist? Can I not get responses? I asked to find out why the agreements for WLC are not following through. All of the promises he made, but yet it's okay to break that. Okay, then if he doesn't follow the general plan agreement, then maybe you should rescind it. Rescind the agreements. I'm asking as a FOIA, I want answers as far as why the city is providing the WLC, Aquabella. Now we have the utility company on Nason on his property doing more work there. Why? Why is the city providing him with gifts of public funds, but yet we can't get some streets or paved or some lights done, but yet you're granting a corporation extremely high amounts of money. Those are gifts of public funds that you're giving, but yet the community suffers.
Thank you, and we'll make sure that staff follows up on those questions as well.
The next speaker is Doreen Armstrong, accompanied by Catalina Santana, followed by the IE Informer.
And just a friendly reminder, because I see a lot of new faces, that we're technically not allowed to respond. So if you have questions and all that and we don't respond, it's not because we don't want to, it's because we're really not allowed to. So just, again, I see a lot of new faces and I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. So my apologies, go right ahead.
Okay, well, I'm new to this, so I don't really know how to start. But we are tenants from the Northwoods Apartments. We're trying to see about getting some help because we're being seriously price gouged at the Northwoods Apartments. We've been charged for water, trash, and sewer. We've been charging $50 to even park where we already live paying rent. For me alone, I'm being charged $50 a month for paying rent. I'm disabled. I have lupus. I'm on a fixed income. They're charging me $50 a month to park. I don't have a car. I haven't had a car. We don't even have security gates. We are in code violations. And we're steady. For me alone, my water, trash, and sewer for just May is $500 and something, and it's just me and my grown son. This is every month. Last month, $400 something. I already got it for June, $500 something for water, trash, and sewer. I can't do it anymore. We went to Fair Housing. I compared. Myself, Fair Housing said I'm getting it the worst. So, just for my water alone, just for this month, is almost $300. It's ridiculous. So many people is getting put out and evicted, becoming homeless because they can't afford the water, trash, and sewer. So we went to Fair Housing. Fair Housing said, yes, this is ridiculous. I have a lady who lives up the way from me. She has 3 adults and a kid. Her water, trash, and sewer is not even running $100, but mine is running over $500. And it's just, everybody's is so much is different. Everybody's is just getting outrageous. So we did, Fair Housing did give us an attorney. So we did contact Elder and Spencer, but in the meantime, while they're trying to work on whatever, it's getting outrageous. We don't know what to do anymore. They're in code violations. They're coming under a lien, and we just need help. I've been calling for the longest. I've talked to a Patrick here. I've talked to a Blanca here. I've been calling like every month, and nothing. So she called today and said, "You want to see when the next council meeting is?" And it just happened to be today, so we came. We just want some help at the Northwoods Apartments.
I'm Catalina Santana. I'm also a tenant there. Sorry. This is YouTube, but I live in a studio. I'm sorry. I live in a studio, and my tenants only pay $55 a month for their trash, and mine is $135. We're in the same area, same complex. I have gone to the office, and they say, well, we will try to give you a credit towards the next month, then the next month, and each month it's over 100. Sorry. But anyways, I talked to Conservice, who collects the water, trash, and sewer, and they said they have nothing to do with the billing. It's the people in management who decide what they're going to charge you. I did bring it to their attention that, this is not fair. They say going according to the usage of each studio. Well, they cannot give me an answer as to why mine is 135.
Yes, ma'am. Understood. And I'm sorry to cut you off there. I just, we give everybody 3 minutes, but we will make sure that staff connects with you right now, gets your contact information so we can follow up on that. Thank you for bringing that to our attention so that we can look into that. Thank you for coming tonight.
The next speaker, IE Informer, followed by Russell Schaefer.
Wow, what a story that was. God, blessings to him. Good evening, council. To my councilwoman, Ms. Baca, you don't get enough credit when I come up here, so please forgive me for doing that because you do what you do. I concur with a lot of what Chris Baca said in regards to promises made by the WLC that have not come into fruition. Where is the technology center that is supposed to be getting these young people out and ready to work these automated warehouses? It's supposed to be built by now. That agreement was done, I don't know, over 5-6 years ago. We haven't got a technology center. So I concur. But what I really want to talk about, and to the staff, you guys are doing a great job, and to Brian, who got back to me with issues dealing with that young lady, and God grace to that young girl, because what you did to her, Mayor, was disgraceful. How you use these young people for your own ends and justification, and then you throw them away as if they don't matter, and you got them fooled like you stand for them. They're up here, oh, the mayor's this, he's doing that for us. All the while, you knew she was ineligible, and it's no shame on her, it's shame on you, because the buck stops with you. You should have made sure she was eligible to serve on that council. So, young lady, this scumbag won't apologize to you, but I will. But this is what comes, young people, with maturity. It takes time. Don't let devils like this sitting up there use you for their own means. Vet these people. I also want to come, and you're a scumbag, Mayor. You're a scumbag. And I call you a scumbag because nowhere is a married man going to tell and treat another man's wife the way you did. And if you watched my show, after that debacle had happened, I said on my show, it won't be long before Mr. Bernard has a personal meeting with you. And I didn't mean that as a threat. I meant that as a man-to-man, talking to you how you need to talk to another man's wife. If that was you, Mayor, you wouldn't want nobody talking to your beautiful wife like that. You wouldn't. So all this false machismo you have, you need to check it at the damn door. I know you don't want to hear this, but this is why it comes with grooming. The way you talk to Ed, you're not Ed's equal.
Thank you. And just a friendly reminder, folks, again, when folks are at the podium, it's their 3 minutes to speak. I understand you have your, opinions and everything, but just make sure that we respect the folks that are at the podium speaking so that they don't get distracted or any of their time taken away. Thank you.
Next speaker, Russell Schaefer, followed by Bob Palomares.
Yeah, I just noticed something about you. Sometimes you shake your head, so you're listening, but most of the time you just want to draw whatever on your iPad or whatever you're doing there. But I completely agree with Donovan, what he's saying and stuff. And I don't blame that little girl. I blame you, Cabrera, and your little sidekick right there, too. You had a big part in it, too. So I'm just saying that. And then you saying stuff with Shalinda stuff. Button your lip, man. You're a man. If she wants to talk about something or whatever, let her talk. Don't voice your opinion out on us and stuff. Some of us are not going to take it. So be a man. I'm sure your life at home, it's different, but here, man, be a professional and let this lady talk and stuff without you have to interfere, because it seems like you're a little whiner and complainer. So that's all I have to say.
Next speaker, Bob Palomares, followed by Antoine James, and the last speaker is Luis Palomares.
Good evening, all first responders every time. Thank you. I want to hear Sadiq again. But, Mayor, you owe an apology, not to just Shalinda, but also to Ed, because he was giving you a hypothetical, and you took it personally. And, but that just goes to show you you're immature. Then you go on to accuse Ms. Bernard, Councilwoman Bernard, about not knowing how to govern and the proper way to do it. Well, let me remind you, I have a list of all of the things that you have committed that have cost the city thousands of dollars. From the LaDonna Jempton debacle to the delay of the swearing in of a council member to the planning slate, the planning commission slate that you were directing, the murals, the cow card, the false accusing of citizens, taking them to court. Eventually they win because you were lying. The $10,000 you promised to the people from Riverside to teach how to swim, the kids here. The SBX debacle, where you had staff working on it. There's more, but I don't want to run out of time here. So, you should be a big man and apologize to him. Because, Ed was just trying to give you a what if, that's all. It wasn't personal attack, but you made it seem that way, the way you turned to him and told him about don't bring him in. Well, you've done that. You're guilty of that. So, and the thing is, you always play the victim. You're always the victim. I think even the penguins in some Pacific remote island know that you're a liar. Once they got their 10% tariff notice, they started. But, you got to get real because you're kind of like a generic mayor. Thank you.
Next speaker, Antoine James, followed by Luis Palomares, The new speaker, Jorge Morales.
All right. Hello, Council. I just wanted to come back. I was here in December. I talked about some development issues that was going on in the new build. Just want to give a thanks to Sean. He did a great job handling that. But Mr. Delgado, I am a little disappointed in you because the reason I was here in December was I reached out to your office first, and I didn't hear back from weeks. So when you gave the mayor about, hey, you should respond to your constituents, I was kind of like laughing in my troll car watching the video, like, you kind of did the same thing. So, good advice you gave him, but please follow it. Like I said, never heard back from you, even after when I came here. Maybe I was like, hey, maybe I'll get something later on from him. Nothing. I kind of have some words for the mayor, but it seems that you got pretty beat up by a lot of people. Honestly, what Delgado said about, when he kind of referenced about, when you do things and think about your son, I think you did take that a little too personally. I'm a father. I think most fathers in here will agree, like, when we do things, when we have our sons or kids, we think about, how our actions. So I get it, you took it personal, but I wouldn't take it too personal. Ms. Bernard, keep doing what you're doing. Like I said, I moved back. I've been actually here for almost 30 years. I moved here in 97. I've been watching the city council meetings a lot just because of my job. Sometimes I can't be able to get here, but I've definitely been watching you. You keep doing what you're doing. Really appreciate your work and everybody else. Thank you.
Next speaker, Luis Palomares, followed by Jorge Morales.
Hold on, give me a minute. I gotta get my breath here. Wow. Luis Palomares, community activist. I brought you a bottle of Baba, because you're always crying the blues at the end of the meeting, doing damage control, taking it out on the rest of the council members. And here's a pacifier so you can put it in his mouth, Gonzalez, when you're there helping him clean it all up. Bunch of phonies, fakes, and frauds. How embarrassing that you used that young lady, Gabby, for your personal agenda. That's what it was all about. You know that, Mayor. You never could look at the woman that's talking up here, or anybody for that matter, unless they're your people, then you're all with smiles. Shame on you to talk to a councilwoman like that. You might be at home talking to your wife like that, but we the women here ain't gonna take it. And you've always had a problem with strong women. You always have. Victoria Baca, for one, always had a problem. Her daughter, Santa Cruz, always had a problem. You treat her like she's not even a councilwoman half the time. Shalinda, another strong woman. You treat them wrong. Me, a strong woman. You treat us wrong. You think you could talk down to us? You think you could talk down to us because you do it at home or wherever you want to go? You use women. You're wrong. And even Carla Thornton, Dr. Carla Thornton, you did not want to name that facility after her. You did not. I heard it from somebody 4 years. You did not, and the staff, which it wasn't this staff, said to you, how are we going to look? How are we going to look? The person that told me that is long gone. Long gone. So how dare you? The same thing with the city clerk. Pat, you had a problem with her. You're still that little boy, 6 years old, hiding behind your mother's skirt when daddy wanted to give you a good one, and you needed it. You're still stuck in that mode. It's a shame. It's a shame. We have you as a mayor. Wow. Can we get better than this? You need to take a hike because you don't bring nothing good to the city. Every time there's a meeting, you cry the blues, you complain, it's not fair. If it's not your way, it's the highway. This is all your agenda. This is all what you want to do. Take off 3 good commissioners to put in 3 people that don't even, come on. And as far as Gumbo, I mean, he's a great guy. I'm not talking about nothing about him, but stay in your lane. You're over there. You're the chair of that. Finish what you started over there. Finish. I understand if you're going to get a better job and get a higher pay, yeah, but finish what you started over there. So you're putting all this amateur hour in here. Come on. You're wrong, and you used that young lady, and shame on you for doing that, Gabby. God, you know better than that. You knew she had to be a registered voter. What's up with that? Shame on you again. You're always the victim. Woe is me, poor me. Can somebody give them this? Can somebody give you your bottle? There's a bottle. Mickey Mouse, you're a mouse. You're not a man. The way you treat other people.
Thank you.
Wives, you're not a man.
Thank you.
I'm gonna leave this here.
Next speaker, Jorge Morales, followed by Roy Bleckert.
Good afternoon. I'm here from Lakeview, Sunnymead, and lately in the last couple of weeks, there has been a lot of disturbances by the community. I'm just asking if there could be more policing, more resources, because our HOA is not doing anything. I'm paying about $625 a month. Call the sheriffs, don't show up. Talk to the HOA director, doesn't do anything. Keeps on telling us to call the police. Well, there's several disturbances, drug dealing, loud noises. It feels like, and she could also speak on my behalf, that we feel like prisoners in our own home. And just wanted to say, if I bring this to your attention, it's a pressing issue. It's putting all of us in a very uncomfortable mood where we live. We go, it's like a free-for-all. It's like a lawless city over there. And I'm not exaggerating. The guy who suggested to come here couldn't make it today, and he's filing a case with the DEA. Today, one of the residents tried to attack his wife. It's getting serious over here. And I just want to bring it to your attention because I'm new to Moreno Valley, been here for about a couple years, but sadly, if this continues, I think I'm just gonna move to a better community. But I just want you to be aware. If you could help out, look into the matter, work with our HOA if they do anything. But I don't know.
Thank you for giving opportunity to sound our voice. So we come from a Lakeview Sunnymead HOA. I'm the owner. He's the owner, and I do not live there, but I heard a lot complaint. It's not just for HOA, not just for the management. It's for the police. Many times I saw the police, the teenagers, where I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're selling drug, maybe they're doing something, make a lot of noises, and then many times throw the trash everywhere, and then somebody call the police come here, they do not do anything. I saw the kids, the teenagers that walking around, running around the community, and the police just ignore that. The police just, okay, go. This thing happened again. It's caused a lot of long-term serious situation. And then last time I heard that the teenagers, they're burning tires. Oh my gosh. And the homeowner tried to call the police, and the teenager tried to hit the door, hit the window. Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous. So that's the reason why I'm here. So I want to, somebody hear that and take action.
Thank you. And for clarification, what neighborhood is this? What's the name of it?
It's Lakeview Sunnymead HOA.
Lakeview Sunnymead HOA.
Right.
Okay.
I think it's very famous.
Thank you. The Sunnymead Ranch area? Thank you.
Mayor, last speaker, Roy Bleckert.
YouTube. Well, you were a very young man 8 years ago, Mayor, when you were first elected. Sadly, you went backwards in maturity. That's culminated in the very unprofessional, uncalled for behavior you exhibited at the last meeting, culminating with your disrespectful comments to your colleague, Shaylinda Bernard. The city will never move forward. I gave you and Erlen 2 weeks to come up with an explanation, not only for that, of why that happened, your comments with Ed. What, you can't pick on Elena anymore? I mean, what, you run out of ammunition on that, or what's up? people are not going to invest in this community when there's so much uncertainty. When they see that a majority of the Planning Commission as it stands now can be turned by the next meeting, you think they're going to invest 1,000, 10,000, millions into this community on a crapshoot? Now, you did take my recommendation to move it. It should have been on the agenda. There should be a discussion. It's unfair to the 4 people that are up there that are sitting there on pins and needles, knowing, well, they could be on. Maybe they'll show up here and, hey, you just got took out by the council. They deserve respect to know if they're going to finish out or if those terms are going to go 3 years or you want to replace them. We need to have that discussion, and we're not having it. It's why this place is known as a 3-ring clown show. It's time for you to step off that seat, because we're not going forward. We're giving you 8 years. It's gotten worse. We cannot do the corruption, the political crimes that have went on there. You should have put him and Marquez under oath. That's why we're not sitting here today, because we did not follow through. A censure was not enough, because you see what happened. It's time this community comes together and demands that we work for the future of Moreno Valley, that we have a future that's going to be brighter. And it can't go on with all this turmoil and chaos and disrespect going on, especially at the head of the seat.
Mayor, that concludes public speakers.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk, and thank you to all of our public speakers as well for coming out. Again, we'll make sure to follow up on the concerns that were brought up during public comment. Thank you for everybody, especially those that joined us for the first time. Thank you for coming out and bringing that to our attention. So next up, we will go ahead and move into item J, which is the joint consent calendars. It's I, excuse me. Joint consent calendars. And before I open the consent calendar for public comment, I ask my fellow council members if there are any items that they wish to remove from the consent calendar for separate action.
I don't wish to remove anything, just comment on one.
Okay. I think maybe after public comment, we can make comments on the consent calendar. Any items removed, though, for separate action or questions? Okay. I don't see any at this time, so we'll go ahead and move into public comment. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on the consent calendar?
Yes, Mayor. Luis Palomares.
Okay, Luis Palomares, I want to talk on I-5. Oh, Mr. Mayor, you're using money, $300 a room. You went to some event, not even 40 miles away, maybe 45 minutes in time, and you stood the night over there for $300 a room, close to $300 on our dime, plus everything else you had to spend, be over there. How, I understand if it was a 2-day thing and you had to spend the night there, but wow, half an hour from home. How do you do that? How do you spend $300? Explain that to me. Explain that to me. That's the kind of use, that's what you do with our money. That's what you do with our money. That money could have done other things, but no. Hey, it's carte blanche. You know, you use the whatever card the way you want to. And how much other stuff have you been spending on? I'm going to look for that. We're going to look up for that information. $300 a room one night. You can drive an hour home. You can drive 45 minutes home. Doesn't your family need you? Wow. You know, you don't want nobody to ever mention your family up here. But when you're over there doing your photo ops and when you're going to be out for a month or so, when it goes black here, what the hell? You're going to be out there taking pictures and putting it all over the social media, your photo op. But you know what? When you do that, then you open it up for people to come and criticize you or who's ever in the picture with you. Oh, wow. Grow up. Shame on you. $300. $300 on a good time on us? You know, maybe you needed a break. Maybe you wanted to spend the night there for whatever reason, but wow. $300 later, like SpongeBob says. You're wrong, you're wrong. This is what you abuse your seat up there. You abuse the money up there. How much more? Like way back when on the last time, you were spending off the hinges on the cow cart. Daddy took your little Pete Corvette away. Shame on you. And here's the bottle, because we know you're going to clean it up at the end. Your bottle and a pacifier for you, Gonzalez. I thought you had some spine, but you don't. You were meeting with Marcelo Cole. Give me a break. What, were you going to make a deal? That was the biggest bribe in Riverside County, and you were meeting with him about something about being in a commissioner seat? Shame on you. You came out real good last time defending yourself about wow this and wow that, and I had to wait, and I had to get in like, come on, give me a break. Do the right thing for the right reason. Cabrera, you do the right thing for the right reason, and quit spending our money like that. Quit spending $300 for an overnight trip for you. Wow. Should have been home with your family. Thank you.
Mayor, that concludes public speakers.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So we'll go ahead and bring it back to the dais for, I know Councilmember Delgado had some comments, so go ahead and pass it to you.
Thank you. I just want to comment on I-16. I think it's a great thing that our city is doing if this passes. The bridges and underpasses over the Highway 60 is in dire need of attention all the time. And Caltrans is just super busy. They have an entire district to take care of. So if we can get in there and do our part, and then work with Caltrans to get that money back that we spent on cleaning it up and fortifying it, you know, and making sure that it's a safe underpass, I think that's a great thing. So I drive it every day. I drive 3 of them every single day, and I don't know if my colleagues up here do as well because they're a little lower than the 60, but it's sometimes it gets pretty bad. And you guys, staff, do a great job every Friday and every Monday cleaning the city's right-of-way, but we can't touch the Caltrans stuff. So this, if we pass I-16 and we allow this to go through, it's going to allow us, the city, to step in, clean it, and then ask them for reimbursement for that. So I think this is a great thing, and I hope my colleagues feel the same way.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem?
I have a question about that as well, because when you said, I don't know if our colleagues also, I realized that they may be on the 215. So I think when we had all the discussions about this in preparation for this, we just talked about the 60. So will this also cover the 215, like all of our highways, or is it literally for the 60 where Ed and I are calling in every day?
Staff and I are actually going to ask for the moon.
Okay.
And see what we get, but just know that when you look at the 215, the typical 215 on and off ramps, the east side would obviously be Moval, the west side is Riverside or JPA. So it causes some concerns for Caltrans, but we're going to see what we can get there. And the $150,000 that's being asked is just a starting point. We don't want to scare Caltrans away. This would be the first agreement in District 8, as well as SB Senate Bill 569 out of Umberg's office is looking at doing something very similar to this for the homeless encampments and doing outreach and having local jurisdictions in essence do that in lieu of the state, but on a reimbursement basis. So we're very hopeful that this will go through. That gives us a wider breadth of scope of work, but we're going to ask for the moon and see what we get.
Okay, because that's really where like a lot of the issues are. We send photos to staff and from residents, and by the time we go and check on them at the end of our workday, they're gone, they're picked up, they're cleaned, or we already have photos. But the ones on the freeway, off the freeway, under the freeway, all around the freeway, you know, I can leave in the morning and come home and they're still there. I can leave the next day and they're still there. Whereas most times when I report some illegal dumping, I get home, it's gone. I go and drive by and it's completely taken care of, except for these. good job putting this on there. Thank you.
Yeah, and I don't see any other comments at this time. So just to reiterate what has already been said, really glad to see this item on the consent calendar. It's been a battle over the course of many years to try to get to a better place with Caltrans, to ensure that they're responding quickly, because staff has the data to prove that we send them information as soon as there's encampments that start to form and something that needs to be addressed. Staff is on it, and a lot of work has gone into really trying to build that relationship. So I'm glad that we're trying to take that next step. And as you mentioned as well, the legislation that's currently working its way through the Capitol, hopefully that's something that will add another tool to our tool belt so that we can get these freeways cleaned up even faster, because we have to drive through it, on the freeways. When we get on and off the freeways, we see it every day, and we have to do more to clean it up. So I'm glad to see this. Thank you to staff. Also just want to highlight a couple other things on the consent calendar. $150,000 grant for the Burke. That's through the California Workforce Development Board. So hats off to Economic Development, Keith, Brian, the entire team, for continually getting these grants and making sure that we're getting this funding from outside of the city, which helps and goes a really long way. Also, one of the items on our consent calendar is road closures for the 4th of July parade. That's our biggest event of the year alongside the festival. So really looking forward to that. And then the last one is electrical vehicle charging station project over at the, I believe it's the amphitheater. So again, just, hats off to Melissa. They just got the Public Power Week proclamation during special presentations, and, staff just got recognized not that long ago at SCAG for our EV fleet that we have and all the work that we're doing here. So again, just really appreciate y'all, not just doing the work and getting it done and really leading the effort, but making sure that we're acquiring these grant funds from outside of the city to augment our taxpayers' dollars. So just wanted to highlight a few items on the consent calendar, and look to my colleagues again to see if there's any other comments, any other questions. If not, we can go ahead and entertain a motion and a second for approval of the consent calendar.
I motion to approve the consent calendar.
I second it.
There's a motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bernard,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz,
Yes.
and Mayor Cabrera.
Yes. That motion carries unanimously. Next up, item J, which is public hearings. We do have a few, and these are pretty routine. We do these every single year, sometimes multiple times a year. And a friendly reminder that questions or comments from the public on a public hearing matter are limited to 3 minutes per individual and must pertain to the subject matter under consideration. Those wishing to testify should complete and submit a goldenrod speaker slip to the city clerk's staff. We will move into J1, which is a public hearing for delinquent solid waste accounts and abatements of public nuisances. And I'll turn it over to Financial and Management Services, Dina, for a staff report.
Yes, thank you. The item before you tonight is a public hearing for delinquent solid waste accounts and an abatements of public nuisances. As mentioned, this is a routine annual process that involves, that is done during the spring and the fall as deemed necessary by the fire marshal, the fire prevention division. And what they do is they send out vacant parcel owners, as identified by the last assessment roll, a notice to abate. The notice of abate states that all weeds, dry vegetation, rubble, junk, trash, debris, and etc. upon premise is a public nuisance and must be abated per Moreno Valley Municipal Code. Solid waste charges, on the other hand, become delinquent when an invoice exceeds 60 days. By regular mail, property owners are notified. They have two options to resolve the delinquent solid waste charges. In order to, when they're notified, they can resolve these charges with the franchise waste hauler before the deadline of June 26th. I would like to note we have been contacted already by several property owners on the attachment. I want to repeat, they have until June 26, 2025 to square up with the waste hauler provider. The, those that remain unpaid as of June 26th, this process is enabling us to provide these charges to the County of Riverside, the information to be assessed on the fiscal year 25-26 property tax bill. On or before August 8th is the tentative deadline by the county. Following this final determination, the city clerk shall file with the County of Riverside Auditor Controller a certified copy of this resolution, together with a certified copy of the report. This concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions. One side note, there are 143 properties in the abatement process, and there's over 6,000 currently with delinquent solid waste accounts.
Thank you very much, Director Hilt. Appreciate the staff report there. And we'll go ahead and bring it back to the dais to see if there's any council questions of staff. I don't see any questions at this moment, so we'll go ahead and move into the public hearing, and I'll go ahead and open the public hearing at this time. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
Honorable Mayor, we have one speaker, the IE Informer.
Mayor, I think you left your bottle and stuff here. Good evening again, and again, I want to give my congratulations and let the city staff know that you guys are really appreciated. You guys are. Brian is leading you guys, and I hope you guys really do follow the leadership and do the right thing at all times for the citizens. But in regards to public abatement, people are being stretched out in taxes as it is, and my heart goes out to these people that are just being pressed, the ladies that were, being gentrified out of their apartments with these exorbitant prices and things. And I know it's easy for people to say who are making six figures, oh, it's only a little increase, but that little increase could be the difference between somebody staying in their home or somebody eating, putting gas in their car to get to work or whatever the deal is. So, yeah, and even though I know people need this stuff, and it's very difficult, and I get that. But at the same time, we talk about abatement. There's a city-owned road right behind my house. The city hasn't been back there to clean it up in a while. All right? It's a service road, and a lot of the city staff don't even know about it. Every time I call in to get that fixed, oh, the city doesn't own any roads. I've been here for 48 years. You've been here for 3. Okay, so again, not all the city staff, but what I'm saying is it's easy to talk about what the residents need to do to clean up their area, but the city has areas it needs to clean up. So I know it's a necessity. I have no problem with it, but I am one of the blessed people that can say, okay, a little increase isn't going to bother me. But I can speak in my area in Edgemont, the majority of people that live in the Edgemont area, that's a significant increase of what's going on over there. So you got to do what you got to do, but it is going to be what it's going to be. Oh, Mayor, you're Baba. Okay. Thank you.
What was the speaker's name again? I'm sorry.
Mayor, that concludes speakers.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. So we'll go ahead and close the public testimony, seeing as there's no more public speakers. And just a friendly reminder again, folks, when folks are at the dais, they have their 3 minutes, and just whether we have differing opinions, we just have to keep it respectful. So just a friendly reminder again. Now that the public hearing is closed for this item, we'll bring it back to the dais for any further questions or comments. If there are none, we'll go ahead and enter. Looks like questions or
I
comments
have a clarifying question for Dina. This is just delinquent, right? There's not additional surcharge, or this is for the abatement. If behind my house is the weeds and we get a citation and I don't take care of it, I have till July 26th to take care of it, and then the county's going to come in by August.
That is correct, Councilmember.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure. burden of the county. Thank you.
Any further questions or comments? If not, we'll go ahead and entertain a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bernard,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Delgado,
Yes.
and Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz.
Yes.
Mayor Cabrera.
Yes, and that motion carries unanimously. Next up, item J2, which is public hearing to continue Moreno Valley Community Services District annual parcel taxes and charges for fiscal year 25-26. And I'll turn it back over to Director Hield for a staff report.
Yes, thank you. So this is the first of 3 public hearings this evening. So this public hearing and my report will be a little bit lengthy, as the other 2 will be abbreviated. So the item before you tonight is a public hearing to continue Moreno Valley Community Services District annual parcel taxes and charges for fiscal year 2025-26. The City Council must adopt the resolutions to authorize the levy of parcel taxes. This is for Zone A and C. The parcel charges for Zone D, E, M, and S on the property tax roll. The CSD Board must conduct a public hearing to receive public input on the proposed levy. The parcel charges cannot be levied on the property tax roll, nor can an adjustment be made to the maximum parcel charge rate unless the qualified electors previously approved and the CSD Board annually authorizes such action. Approval of the resolution sets the maximum and applied parcel charge rates for each zone. The resolutions also authorize the county to level the parcel charges on the fiscal year 25-26 property tax bill. The proposed parcel charges are a continuation of the parcel charges currently levied on the property taxes. There are no increases proposed to the maximum parcel charge rates other than an annual inflationary adjustment, provided the qualified electors previously approved such adjustment. The CPI increase proposed for most districts is 3.42%. Based on LA CPI. The newest Parks Maintenance District and Public Safety District use Riverside CPI, which is 2.61. Revenue received from the parcel charges funds the cost of parks and community service programs, such as Zone A, the operation of the arterial street lighting programs, which is Zone C, and ongoing maintenance of certain public landscape areas known as Zones D, E, M, and S. The frequency of landscape maintenance is based on available funding. The applied parcel charge rate is the amount that is used to calculate the parcel charge actually levied on the property tax roll. The amount is necessary to fund the services of the zones, including administrative and reserves necessary. That concludes my report, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Director Hield. Appreciate the staff report. We'll bring it back to the dais for any questions of staff. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing for public testimony. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
No public testimony.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We will close the public hearing at this time and bring it back to the dais for any final comments, questions. If not, looking for a motion and a second.
Motion move.
Second?
There's a motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Do we have to wait for Councilmember Bernard? No.
Okay, we will go ahead and proceed with the vote.
Councilmember Bernard is away from her seat at the dais. Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz,
Yes.
and Mayor Cabrera.
Thank you. Yes. And that motion carries unanimously. We will go ahead and move into the next item, which is J3, public hearing to confirm a diagram and assessments for lighting maintenance district number 2014-01 for fiscal year 25-26. And we'll turn it back over to Director Hield.
This is also a routine annual process. This public hearing is specific to the lighting maintenance district number 2014-01, but contains similar requirements, processes, and council authorization needed to levy parcel taxes and charges for the district on the property tax roll, as stated in the previous public hearing. Approval of the resolution sets the maximum and applied parcel charges for each zone. The resolutions also authorize the county to levy the parcel charges on the fiscal year 2025-26 property tax roll. That concludes my report, and I'm available if you have any questions.
Thank you, Director. We'll bring it back to the dais for any questions of staff. Seeing none, we will open the public testimony portion. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak on this item?
No public testimony.
Thank you. We'll close the public hearing at this time and bring it back to the dais for any final comments, questions. If not, we're entertaining a motion and a second.
So moved.
I second.
There's a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bernard,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz,
Yes.
and Mayor Cabrera.
Yes, thank you. And our last item on J is J4, public hearing to confirm diagrams and assessments for landscape maintenance district number 2014-02 for fiscal year 25-26. And we'll turn it back over to Director Hild.
Yes, thank you. This public hearing is specific to the Landscape Maintenance District, as mentioned, for district number 2014-02, but contains similar requirements and processes and council authorization needed to levy parcel taxes and charges for the district on the property tax roll, as stated in the previous public hearing. Approval of these resolutions sets the maximum and applied parcel charges rates for each zone. The resolutions also authorize the county to level the parcel charges on the FY 25-26 property tax roll. That concludes my short report, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Madam Director. We'll go ahead and bring it back to the dais and see if there's any questions for staff. Seeing none, we'll open the public testimony portion. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
No, Mayor, no public testimony.
Thank you. We'll close the public testimony. Bring it back to the dais for any final comments, questions. If not, entertain a motion and a second.
I move motion.
I second that motion.
There's a motion and a second. Please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bernard,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz,
Yes.
and Mayor Cabrera.
Yes. Thank you. And that motion carries as well. Next up, K, general business. We have one item under general business, and that is K1, approve and adopt a policy establishing the summer meeting schedule. And we'll turn it over to City Manager Brian Mohan for a staff report.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. If you recall, this would be a routine item, which would be setting the summer recess for this particular year. One thing that, as we are trying to streamline some processes and some policies and also create additional transparency, my conversation with the city clerk, city attorney was to go ahead and create a policy. So that way, when we're establishing our annual calendars, it is well known ahead of time when summer recess occurs. And what that particular policy would be calling for is based on historical trends. It would literally be calling for the summer recess for both regular council meetings in July, the first regular council meeting in August, both study session meetings in July and August, and for any council subcommittee meetings that would be inclusive of this particular timeframe, those would also be canceled at the beginning of the calendar year. If for some reason there is an unforeseen reason that we need to call council back, we can go ahead and do so under a special meeting or very similar to how we've done in certain election years where we've had to have the first meeting in August. we could go ahead and call that through a special meeting and not a regular meeting in order to be able to agendize anything that would want to be placed on the ballot for any given election. With that, I'm available, that concludes my comments, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you very much, City Manager Mohan. Appreciate the staff report, and we will bring it back to the dais for any council questions of staff. Looks like there are no questions at this time, so we'll go ahead and move into public testimony. Madam Clerk, do we have any requests to speak?
Yes, Mayor, we have two speakers. First, Luis Palomares, followed by Roy Bleckert.
Luis Palomares, community activist. I brought this again just in case when you do your closing comments, Mayor, because we're going to go out pretty soon. You can have it. Anyway, I wanted to say about the summer recess. I think it's a good thing. Keep it one date. Keep it from what? Oh my God, I'm tired. Okay. I agree with the staff's recommendation. They do a darn good job. Thank you, staff. And also, as far as, May, our Memorial Day, I salute our veterans. Wow, great. Thank you, veterans, for all you do in our community, all of you. My hat's off to you. I was going to talk about this last time, but it's still, I was at, when they had golly, I'm not here. I'm sorry. Got to give me a minute. At, oh my God, when they fly the planes and all that. Air show, thank you. Air show, you got it. Air show, I was at the National watching it from where my grandson's buried there. So I want to give hats off to our veterans again in the air show and all those people that did a great job, because I don't know if I'll be coming back anytime soon. So I just want to say that in my closing comments. And also, wow, let's just get this right. Cabrera, let's not close your closing comments and start doing damage control and insulting the councilwomen. And if they do, and if you go down that road and you take your 15 minutes to do damage control, please, every woman get up and walk out. Thank you.
Next speaker, Roy Bleckert.
Thank you. Just a friendly reminder to keep the comments to the item that's on the agenda. Thank you.
So we're back here again. I know of no agency yet, other than the city of Moreno Valley, that takes this much time off. I would even be fine if you just said we're Xing out July, like you do with the subcommittee meetings, which you should reform and make it work right. We don't have to do everything like everybody else does. Maybe we can be the world's leader at something, except vacations. This is a city of 200,000, for crying out loud. And I mean, every general law city is supposed to have one general regular meeting a month. You guys push we're going to stretch the summer vacation thing really far, to the point of how much money that it cost us a couple years ago. And why didn't your partner in political crime, Mr. Mayor, run it to the end and let the court make a decision? So we could have had a clarification on this. It was the whole point of this. It took that to force this place to put a policy in place simply to put excused absences in. But keep it up. It's just going to perpetuate the reputation we have that we're not serious, that we don't take the concerns of the residents that need not only to come up here and say something, just the general opportunity for free political speech and to redress grievances with our government. So keep perpetuating our reputation with what you're doing. Just keeps putting more nails in our coffin around here. Like I said, maybe someday we'll get it together. Even just taking July off, you'd still have the longest one that I know of that's ever been in history. Why can't we at least come to that as a compromise position so we could maybe get our reputation a little better?
Mayor, that concludes public speakers.
Thank you very much, Madam Clerk. We'll go ahead and bring it back to the dais for any questions, comments. If not, we can entertain a motion and a second.
Motion to approve.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve. Please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bernard,
Yes.
Councilmember Gonzalez,
Yes.
Councilmember Delgado,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz,
Yes.
and Mayor Cabrera.
Yes. Thank you very much. That passes unanimously. And that brings us to item L, which is the Regional Commission Committee Board Reports. We do have a few this evening, and we'll go first to Councilmember Delgado for the Joint Powers Commission.
Thank you very much. Tonight I'm providing an update from the March Joint Powers Commission special meetings that were held on Monday, May 12 and Wednesday, May 14. On May 12th, the Commission approved a usage-driven site within Foreign Trade Zone number 244 for InstaShip LLC located within the city. Additionally, the Commission denied the West Campus Upper Plateau project. On May 14, the Commission directed March 1 LLC to submit to the March Joint Powers Authority financials and development experience information regarding March Life USA no later than May 30, 2025. And this concludes my update on the March Joint Powers Commission meetings that were held on May 12, May 14. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Councilmember Gonzalez for RCHCA.
Thank you, Mayor. Just give a brief summary of the meeting that took place on May 8th, 2025. At the joint RCHCA Board of Directors and Riverside Communities Partnership Project meeting on May 8th, the board received the following reports: agency attendance roster, students kangaroo rat mitigation fee transfers from member agencies, financial report through February 2025, contract and grant status, take agreement between the RCHCA and the Department of Water and Resource Training for the SKR for the Paris Dam Emergency Release Projects, status report concerning Reserve Management Committee for the Southwestern Riverside County Multi-Species Reserve and Lake Matthews Reserve, SKR recovery efforts, SKR reserve management and monitoring efforts activities, and educational outreach program activities. Additionally, staff recommendations were approved for the following: fiscal year 2025-2026 RCPP budget, Cajalco Road widening project indemnification agreement, fiscal year 2025-2026 agency budget, and Nexus fee study update. And the next meeting on July 10th has been canceled. The next regularly scheduled meeting is September 11th, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I'll be providing a brief report for RCTC. And this is a report for the meeting that was held on May 14th over at the Riverside County Board of Supervisors building. The commission approved revisions to the existing transit policies as presented in the Transit Policies Manual. There was also a brief report or an update from Caltrans Director for District 8, which is our region here for Caltrans, on the pavement and maintenance work that's being done as we speak on the 215 bordering the cities of Paris, Moreno Valley, and even into Riverside. So they provided an updated schedule on that. There was also a presentation and a report from the Chief Executive Officer of Metrolink, who came out, I think he said for the first time in about 15 or 20 years to RCTC. So he provided various updates. One of them was in regards to the Olympic Games, commonly known as LA 28, specifically with transportation. and mobility. And so that's something that RCTC is collaborating on and trying to figure out ways to be able to move folks around ahead of, during, and after the 2028 Olympics, and before that as well, with the World Cup, with All-Star Games, et cetera. There's a lot of mobility questions that are coming up, and we're looking to collaborate on that. And that will conclude my report on the last Riverside County Transportation Commission meeting. And we have one more report for WRCOG from Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. I attended the WRCOG Executive Committee meeting on May 5th. Reports for fiscal department activities, committees, agency activities, and various external committees were received and filed. Additionally, the Executive Committee discussed the following key items: the IREN 2024 Annual Report and the 2028 through 2035 Business Plan Update. IREN has submitted its required annual report to CPUC related to activities in 2024. Key accomplishments include securing $1.8 million in funding for IREN agencies to implement energy conservation projects. This included 13 trainings regarding the state's new energy code, including the first Spanish language training, and providing 14 fellows at agencies to support energy efficiency and resiliency projects. Activities are consistent with the previously approved business plan, and all IREN are submitted to all IRENs are required to submit business plans for approval by the CPUC as the current business plan expires in 2027. The Vehicle Miles Traveled Mitigation Program was implemented. The state of California recently enacted legislation, Senate Bill 743, that requires that transportation and development projects mitigate VMT impacts. WRCOG staff developed an optional regional VMT mitigation program that can be used to comply with these state requirements. The Executive Committee approved the VMT Mitigation Program Manual, which allows WRCOG to implement this new program. The Clean Mobility Options Community Car Share Development Kickoff was tabled, and the next meeting will be June 2nd at 2 p.m. at the County Riverside Administrative Center on Lemon Street. This concludes my report.
Thank you. And there is one more report for the Riverside Transit Agency from Councilmember Bernard.
Thank you, Mayor. Tonight I'm providing updates from the RTA Board Administration and Operations Committee meeting held on May 7th. In March 2010, RTA acquired an on-premises voice-over internet protocol system. Modern cloud-based phone systems can be accessed from anywhere with an internet connection. The committee approved to authorize the staff to award an agreement to Intellesis Communications to implement a cloud-based system in a total project amount of $276,882. And that concludes my report on the last RTA Board Administration and Operations Committee meeting.
Thank you. Next up is item M, Employee Association reports. We do not have one this evening, so we'll go ahead and turn it over to the city manager, for the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. This past Saturday, the city held the Public Safety Expo, which is an annual event. I just want to thank all of those that were in attendance, as well as our Parks and Community Services Department, our Public Works Department, as well as our public safety partners for putting that event on, and it was well attended. It's always a great event to see the kids go through and look at what we have, what we are able to provide in public safety, and hopefully possibly looking at those careers in the future. As we head into the Memorial Day weekend, just want to honor the fallen and remember that Memorial Day is primarily a day to remember and honor those who have died in the line of service for our great nation. So thank you to all those who have lost loved ones and who really serve and also remember why Memorial Day is actually held. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. City Manager. We'll go ahead and move into City Council closing comments, and we'll go to District 4 first.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I want to say Thank you. I went to the Public Safety Expo on Saturday with my family, and that was really interesting. I felt like Chief Parks and I were kind of stalking each other because I found him at every stop, but you know, it's life. I also want to, I know people are typically used to me giving it to this administration, but the court seems to be doing their job right now, so we'll see how long that holds. But again, please pay attention because the budget bill, they're known to pass that at midnight, probably about 1 p.m. So just kind of pay attention to that. And I will close with this. The last time I left out of here, I want to apologize to residents, city staff in the well, my family, because that was out of character for me. I'm not going to apologize for what was said because I meant every word that I said when I walked out of here. But when someone is attacking your character, especially someone like me, who for a lot of the jobs and positions that I've held, and the position even being the oldest granddaughter, the oldest niece, the oldest daughter in her family, integrity is important because I've always been the family manager. And so when someone attacks your integrity by filing a public records request when you've told them nothing happened, it's actually quite offensive. So I apologize to everyone in the well, and I know I've apologized to a lot of you individually. And I know a lot of you have told me you understand how it goes, but still, I always pride myself in making sure that you guys aren't caught up in anything that we do. I apologize to the community because y'all elected me to do a job, and that's my job, regardless if somebody says something that is untrue about you or anything. You've elected me to do a job, and I will always maintain at the end of this, no matter what happens, I can always do my job. Because I also know that we don't always have to get along with the people that we work with. We just have to do our job to get it done. I've learned this working with labor organizations where they're often arguing and fighting. I've learned this working with my students who are fighting amongst themselves sometimes, and even being a social worker and having different plans of treatment for clients that we have. That at the end of the day, my main job and my main goal up here is to take what the residents and the people that elected me have asked me to do, and whether you elected me or not doesn't really matter, and make the best decision possible and to give you 100%. And the last two meetings have stretched that to the end. And what you were seeing is a culmination of a lot of things that are happening behind the scenes finally spilling out front. So for that, I apologize. I want to thank the public who came out and said what they said. I appreciate all of you. I would like to thank, my husband doesn't come out to these meetings very often, but my husband came out to support me tonight, so I thank him. And I dragged my my little sister, because I was so upset, forgot to give her a shout out, because my sister, who just came from a cycle bar class that she teaches in Redlands, waddled herself on down here at 6.5 months pregnant to show support for her big sister based on what happened. And so I protect my family at all costs, and so to have them here is very important to me, and it means a lot to me that they showed up here tonight, and to my mom at home watching the boys, and to my two little boys. Mommy is sorry. Mommy is sorry because mommy should have done better. Mommy knew better than not to do that. And with, I always say the same thing I always say, whether you love her or hate her, as Speaker Emeritus Pelosi says, I was elected to do a job, not keep a job. When I rerun for my seat in 2026, if based on what happened, you don't want to renew my contract, I'm fine with that, because I meant every word when I said no one is entitled to any seat. No one is entitled to any position at any level, not even the job that I have now. So thank you all. Have a good night. Can't wait to see you all in June. And please, 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 for Memorial Day, remember why we are there. Remember why we have the day off. I know it's about barbecues and things, but please remember those that didn't come home and those that gave everything in their entire lives for that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. First thing, I just want to reiterate, hopefully everyone had a happy Mother's Day weekend. It was a few weeks back, and spending it with our moms and our wives and everyone, all the women in our lives that have shaped us. So just want to say that. Attended the Public Safety Expo. It was great to see many of our city departments. Great to see the kids and the public attending. I know one of the more popular events is the canines. They weren't able to go because of what happened in Palm Springs, but it was a great turnout. Yeah, the weather was it was overcast and some sprinkles, but great event. Thank you, staff, for all the hard work you do. Also, I don't think I mentioned it at the previous meeting. I don't know if the public notices. There's all the agenda items has the districts laid out throughout the different items and throughout the consent calendar items, and it's great so our residents are able to see what district they're in. And I want to thank staff that I reached out to them, and we had conversations about adding that, and they were open to that, amenable, and they agreed to begin adding this. So I think it's a great thing for transparency and for public input. So with that, I close. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, District 2.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to give a shout out to Roy for wearing his Foghorn Leghorn shirt. Half of you guys in here do not know who that was, but Saturday mornings when I was a kid, he was very popular. So Roy, shout out to Foghorn Leghorn. Councilmember Bernard, you do not have to apologize. And we appreciate the sentiment, but you do not have to apologize for your feelings. And honestly, I will say leadership is not just making decisions about policy. Leadership is, I think the ultimate leader is Jesus Christ. The ultimate leader, because people follow Jesus because he doesn't demand them to, they want to. And I think that's a sign of a good leader. You make people follow you, or you have people follow you because they want to follow you, not because you demand it, right? We are all policymakers for sure. That's just something on the surface. But leading is something that I don't know if it's learned. I don't know if it's innate in you. But we are all leaders up here. So my point to that is that we need to move forward and lead the city and set a proper example. And when I said I try to lead my house so my son has a great example when he is older and he runs his own home. And then I try to set an example for my daughters, so when they choose the man of their life, that they have a gauge. And that's what I meant by establishing and using our children as an example. And I truly feel like that. I truly want to set a good example obviously for my family, my nephews, my nieces, and then for the city of Moreno Valley. When I go to events outside of the city of Moreno Valley, I want them to look at us as leaders in the region. I don't want them to look at us like, oh, here we go again. I do want to move forward. I do hope that we can get up here and lead by example number one, and then lead by policy number two. I also attended the Public Safety Expo. I've attended every year that I've been on the dais. This year was a little different because I brought my granddaughter, because she actually had, the sensory to understand a little bit what was going on. She saw the fire truck. She saw the horse with the MED was there, the Mountain Enforcement Detail. So that was amazing, and it was amazing for me because I got to share that with her, and hopefully there's many more that she can attend. I have a community event this Thursday at the Cupcake and Espresso at the Sunnymead Ranch at the Lakeshore Village at 5:30. Please come out, and anyone in District 2 or any district for that matter, you want to talk about city stuff. City staff will be there, PD, and the directors of the city will be there as well for questions. The senior center is the construction is moving right along. I attended the senior meeting. What's today? Tuesday. Yesterday, and they're closing tomorrow. And if you can confirm that is tomorrow through Friday, correct? They're going to be closed due to construction. They're going to try to knock out as much concrete pouring as they can between those 5 days. They'll finish up on the weekend if need be. So just FYI. So I would also like to mention the veterans, or the veterans that are at Riverside National. I have 5 family members there, and that's where I will be buried for Memorial Day. And again, just like our folks said, the city manager and Councilmember Bernard said that, look, this is a day for sure we take it off and barbecue with our families, but the core reason that we're there are for the people that died before us in conflict in this country. So on that, have a great week. Be kind to one another and make a difference in your community, make a difference in your family, starting with your family, and we'll all have a better place to live. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, District 1.
I want to also say that, like Ed said, there's no need for you to apologize. I stand behind what you said. I stand behind you. I stood behind you and walked right behind you as you left, because I was also greatly offended by what was happening up on the dais, and I felt it was my obligation to stand up behind you and know that you weren't alone. So if any apologies are needed up here tonight, it comes from our leader. I had a community engagement last week, so thank you to everyone who came out, especially to our city staff who month after month show up with just prepared and ready to answer any question and give so much information to our community. So I appreciate your supporting me in that community engagement. Thank you very much. I attended the Environmental Historical Preservation Commission, and they are ready to move forward with our flag competition. So thank you for approving that. It should be coming out very soon. The parameters have been set, and I look forward to that announcement. I also attended the Public Safety Expo and walked the booth, so it was great to connect with the community. It was several hours, so I think I only saw Councilmember Bernard. Everyone else I think had left already, but people coming in and the exhibits where the kids break open a door, simulation, and I got to use the Jaws of Life. So it's a great day to come out and I guess answer that awe of the police and fire. So having them climb up, all the kids, it's a really great community event. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for putting it on, and thanks for having everybody out there. That was great. I know we were in a split staff with everything happening at Palm Springs, so prayers out to those affected out in Palm Springs, and happy Memorial Day to all who have family that they're remembering. Like we said, this is for those who have passed. So to every family who has given part of their family in defense of our great nation, thank you, and we remember you on that day. So. And then finally, I know the senior center is closing down, but there are other warming and cooling centers throughout the city. So please, we'll continue to have those open. So if you're usually going to the senior center for a cooling center, we do have other cooling centers that are available on the website. So thank you.
Thank you. And to start my closing comments, also would just like to briefly talk about, or say a few words about the past 2 council meetings. So the last 2 council meetings have included moments of tension and conduct that frankly is not reflective of the standards that we should uphold, that I should uphold up here on the dais. And as a leader, as a mayor of the city, it's really ultimately my duty to lead by example. And if any of my comments offended any of my colleagues, I sincerely apologize for that. That was never my intention. I know our deliberations sometimes can get pretty heated, pretty tense, and we have strong disagreements with each other. But I think this is a moment for me, for us to recommit to just keeping things as calm as possible, coming to some kind of consensus, hopefully, and just focusing on the people's business, because that's why we were elected to these offices, to take care of our constituents and make sure that we're providing a better quality of life, more opportunities for everybody that lives in our city. Definitely am committed and ask all of us to just kind of recommit, use this moment to recommit to moving past the last two meetings. Let's leave that behind us and return to a place where we do focus on city business. And while it may be oftentimes tempting to give in to anger or, want to clap back, as some would say, I think we have to kind of refrain from that. We owe it to our constituents to not go there, to not take it there. Our residents look to us not only for leadership, but also for professionalism, and of course, personal matters, including family. If family is ever mentioned, it should be in a positive light. Any negative mentions of family is always off limits and should never be brought into deliberations. And all of us have faced our fair share of criticism, sticks and stones, so to speak, but I truly believe that we can rise above that. We can disagree without being disagreeable. We can debate without disrespect. And most importantly, we can move forward together with that renewed commitment to unity and respect here on this council. So thank you for just giving me an opportunity to address that. And thank you to my colleagues as well for all the comments that you have made, especially Councilmember Bernard. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to, clarify this and move forward. Because I have nothing against you, and we've been able to do a lot of good things together, all the five of us, And that's actually what I'm going to go into now, because, we have some folks that don't believe that the city is in a good position, or that we're, not doing good things or anything like that. And that is frustrating to hear, because we're doing a lot of good things. Even with this macroeconomic environment that we're living in and the political environment that we're living in, these are unprecedented times. But here at the micro level, at the city level, to just the last meeting, approve a balanced budget, $75,000 surplus, it's something, but, balanced budget for 14 straight years. That's not something that many cities in this state or this country can say. And that's because of the five of us, the city staff, the residents giving us an opportunity to do that. Just last week, there was an announcement that the RUHS campus here in Moreno Valley off of Cactus was awarded $184 million to build out their behavioral health campus, which is huge. That's through Proposition 1, which was approved by the voters. So that infusion of capital that's coming into RUHS is going to do a lot of good things for our community and the entire region, creating jobs, better access to healthcare. And I just want to say thank you to everybody at the Riverside University Health System. Thank you to the Riverside County Board of Supervisors, the staff there that gave us the opportunity to partner, to give that letter of support and ultimately get awarded these funds. It's very competitive, but very happy to see that. And again, just a friendly reminder here, I've said it before, but a few things that are good things, positive things that are coming to the city of Moreno Valley just over the next year and a half. New library up in District 2 in Sunnymead Ranch, a new pump track, the largest pump track in Southern California. Senior center expansion, as has been mentioned already. First museum ever in our city's history is coming. Loma Linda, bless you. Loma Linda and Radnet is moving into the city of Moreno Valley as well. Jaeger is another company that's moving into the city, which is also in the medical industry. So it's just a lot of live stream. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. There's just so many good things that we have to highlight. We got to highlight it because you don't hear it that often. So just wanted to mention a few things. Of course, Memorial Day, make sure that we honor and respect all those who have fallen in service to our country. Make sure that we remember their names and their memories. And also just want to give her a shout out because, again, we're talking about positive family things, right? I didn't mention it at the last meeting, but I want to give a happy belated birthday from the dais to the First Lady, my wife, Karina. Happy belated birthday to you. We're getting old, and I don't know what I would do without you. So thank you for being in my life. And with that, we will conclude today's meeting. And actually,
Mayor?
Yes, thank you. Before I forget, this is the second meeting that we're doing this, so thank you to staff for reminding me. Item P, future agenda items. looking to my colleagues to see if there are any requests for future agenda items. Seeing none, we'll go ahead and move into adjournment, and we'll officially adjourn at 7:49 p.m. Have a good night.